Hello. Sorry, I just looked at my phone there, putting on silent. Thank you so much for watching. This is the number 3 installment of Texas or Bust. Where I left off last time was I had gone through my two different visits to Texas. I had brought myself and stayed for 3 days, put 500 miles on a car, a rental car, and then we decided to do it again with my wife and my daughter. So 2 weeks later we came back, and we went all over the place. And we have at that point I hired, and I worked with a local agent. Even being an agent myself, I probably could have just helped myself. It just wasn't going to be the smart thing to do in my opinion. Just selling real estate and then being your own client is not that bad if you're really comfortable with your market. But being that I was coming from a different market, I trust the other agents. And of course I went through my correct avenues of finding the right one. I ended up using a referral from a friend in Oregon who moved from Texas and had a friend that he had known for quite some time, who was selling real estate at that time. She still is actually now. She's a really great lady, and I still have great contact with her. And I guess what you'll learn too is that most real estate agents, they should be really good friends with a lot of other agents, mainly for the fact that they're gonna be able to speak to another agent and maybe help you find your next house, or just be able to possibly sell your house a little bit before. It's a lot of times, clients, let their agents know kind of beforehand of what they're looking for, or that they're going to sell something. So makes it a little easier if you can kind of make those connections before hitting the market, especially now with how crazy the market's been. You don't know if it's going to be a good price or not. But anyway, that's just a side note. So we ended up doing our 2 weeks, and we ended up finding this house that we're in right now. It was still in build process. It was still in sticks process. So I mean, the rail that you see outside of this window. Sorry, I got my daughter's drawings up on the window. That wasn't even there. So I mean, not a lot of this was here, as far as like it was just stick built. We didn't even have drywall up when we first saw it. But I was kind of discouraged at that moment. It was like the sixth or seventh home that we had seen that day of a 3-day tour. Um, Denton was a little bit farther out than what kind of we were expecting. It's not anymore now that we've driven it so many times. It's so close. 35 minutes is kind of close to anything now. Um, but yeah, and we also came in through like the back area, and I think that kind of still really felt like rural area when we were coming through the back. Anyway, so we rolled up to the sales office. We spoke to a sales agent there with our agent, and like I said, I was kind of disappointed. I was like, I really wanted something a little bit larger, as far as like the larger lot, which at this point now I love the size of our lot. It's so easy to take care of. I don't think I'd be able to handle an acre right now with how much stuff's going on. So I mean, so many things that were like, oh, like I wanted this and I wanted that. I also wanted a little bigger garage because I have more cars. But just the small things for me that were like not that big of a deal for me to be like, okay, I'm okay with with taking that as like my second choice. It's not that big of a deal to me. And keeping that in mind when you're looking at homes, like have a list of the 10 things that are super important to you, but like put like the 3 that are super important that you don't want to bend on. Um, and then the rest of them you might have to bend on a little bit. It just makes things a little bit easier. But I mean, come up with that list of things that you're like, okay, I love for this, but these are the absolute things that I will not go without. And then make sure that you share that with your agent. Just makes it so much easier for us. Um, but the sales agent was like, yeah, it's a really special lot because of where it's situated. You can't see, but across the way is it's just a wall. So and then green space. And for me, when I saw that was a big deal for me. I'm thinking unlimited parking and nobody's going to be across the street to be loud. It's kind of on the corner where the wall behind you faces the back of someone else's house. So really, it's like it kind of is the corner because pretty much the rest of my street is all, again, parking if I wanted to, because I've got cars. And I've got friends that come and visit and stuff like that. I don't, for me, parking's a big deal. I don't know why. But yeah, but the privacy was a big deal. And then when we walked in on this wall that's behind the camera, all along the side of it is a lot of windows. And coming from a place that's kind of dark and gray and rainy and you just not a lot of sun coming in for a good portion of the year, Portland. Seeing that coming in, or like knowing like I'm always going to have a lot of sun, that was huge for Daniela and myself. So those are all things that were like really, really big, important things that were checking the marks, that were like, okay, this is cool, this is cool. And then we saw the house, and we walked around it, and we definitely saw that it was going to work for us. We've got multi-generational living, so having enough space, and like I said, just having a good amount of yard space. Like I said, we're not on an acre, we're not on a big lot, but we still have enough to have some outdoor activities, some playground and grass and stuff like that. So all of those things, we saw all those things, and that was like, okay, this is cool. So we decided to make an offer after we got home, obviously talking with everybody, and that was going to be making an offer. And we looked at it. I looked at the financing and broke down the numbers. We only had a limited time to make an offer because as everyone saw, the market was just going up every day. And they said, okay, well, this price that you're looking at is not going to be the same in a week or two, which, I mean, it's true, because we ended up making an offer and getting it accepted. And then the next day, the other homes that were in the neighborhood went up like $7,000. So time is always of the essence. Just keep that in mind. And there were just so many things that just made it feel right. And I think that's what I ended up, as a client of myself. But then also when I speak to my clients, when it's right, it's almost too easy. And that's when you kind of just have to go with the flow of like, okay, we are doing this, let's have some fun, let's buy this house. So keep that in mind, that usually if there's just too many roadblocks, if it's just like I'm trying to make this work, it's probably not the right house. Unless you like that, but most people find that, buying the home and getting it, it's a stressful process. I try to make it as least stressful as possible as an agent. It's not always possible. Um, but usually what I find, and what I found over the last 100 plus homes that I've sold, is that the clients usually have this sucking feeling of like, oh, it's happening, and then it's just going with the flow. So yeah, thank you. This is number 3. I know it's super short. I'm trying to keep it under 10, just because I don't want to lose people. But thanks so much for watching. I'm gonna try to do this again. Hopefully you like the live, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.